Brent Key joins us, front and center here to Amelia Island. Coach, always good seeing you. Last year.
It's been a day?
No, it hasn't. It's good. It's all good.
The night's young.
Yeah,
the night is young.
For sure. How y'all been?
We're good, but we've heard from every walk of life in the ACC these last couple of days with these meetings. We'll get to football here in a second. But let's start with the business part of this.
Right.
It's always interesting, right? The landscape keeps changing one way or the other. What did you gain from the last couple of days, at least in the meetings amongst coaches, about big picture of the ACC and the outside? Forget about football a second, just the business of football.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to put, whether they're first off, there's a lot of things that are hard to answer when you don't really know what the question is. So, trying to put some plans together and put things in place so that when certain things do happen or don't happen, we've got really some groundwork laid on how we'll act towards it or react to it, I guess. Putting those plans in place, getting everyone on the same page, being united when we come out of there as football coaches. I think that was important to everybody. It's hard to get 17 men to all agree on one thing, but to have a collective agreement among each other to come out and all be on the same page is important.
What's the biggest thing for you? Like, you come into this week, everyone kind of has a different priority, but in a true year one as the head coach, maybe what's been the most difficult thing you've had to handle, just college football-wise? Not necessarily difficult, but something that was at the top of mind quite a bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know any different. The last year is what I know as being a head coach. So I'm not going to sit there and look back and say, oh well, this is hard because this is the way it used to be, and this is all I know. So you take it as it comes. You try to prepare as much as you can for it. Then you have a plan in place, and then you got to be able to adapt, and you adapt a lot. And I think that's the big thing is being able to adapt, but also be solid in your plans. Whether it be as a staff, coaches all together here, and all being on the same page.
I know that when we interviewed you a year ago, you were excited about the potential, what you got. You know what? At the end of the day, bowl bound, win a bowl game. I know that wasn't exactly the perfect season. You want to win every single game. Mm-hmm. Where are you this year that you're light years ahead of where you were a year ago?
I think going through year one, it's the unknowns, the next day of things that'll pop up, things that are going to occur in the first year. And going into year two, you become a little more comfortable with the day-to-day routine of being the head coach. But the team becomes more accustomed to you. They feel comfortable in the routine. The locker room has been really galvanized over the course of the year. Now, look, there's no continuation of success. Like if you have a good year, it means nothing at the next year. We've got 33 new guys on the football team. The locker room's got to rebuild that team each and every year, and you hope that guys that had success the year before know what it took, knew what the good, the bad, the ugly, all that took place during the season was. So they can use those lessons and experiences to be able to move on with the other guys and the team this year.
It feels though offensively you got a chance to really be dynamic. I know that was one of the things we talked about a year ago was, hey, some guys got to step up and make some plays downfield. It's got to be different. And now, lo and behold, I mean, you had some dudes, and I would think with experience coming back, especially with what Haynes King can do, I think your team can really score.
Yeah, that was something last year. We knew we had to become more explosive, and we had to become, we had to continue to improve up front on the O-line, which that's where it starts, and then we had to, Haynes had to go be able to have success, and he's grown so much really from his time, his previous school through last year, and then I'm really expecting to see the same thing this year, just through spring ball, the off season, the things he's really worked on and improved on, worked to eliminate mistakes that were made last year, more comfortable in the offense, the volume that we're able to have this year, which is more than last year, which is his skill set. I mean, he's such a smart kid. He's as good of a leader as I've ever been around in my life as a football player. But the ability to carry a high volume of offense, and it circles around him and the other players, and they accept that challenge. So it'll be an exciting year.
Yeah, his competitive nature is really unmatched. You watch him on the sideline, and I genuinely, I say it all the time, I don't know that there's a more competitive football player on the field than him.
No, he is everything, and he was obviously the heart and soul of our team last year.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he just has relationships with everybody across the board on the team, and friends with everyone, but also commands the respect from everybody.
Where did this team get better this spring? I know you still have a ways to go. You like what you've seen, but you have a ways to go. But where did this team grow?
Yeah, the big thing was defensively, we had to make massive improvements, and we made some changes in the offseason. We acquired some more players through recruiting, some more pieces to the puzzle that we needed. And the first thing is just solidifying the line of scrimmage and being able to stop the run, being able to contain the quarterback, affect the quarterback in different ways, and we were able to really improve on that. Tyler Santucci came in, and Jess Simpson, who coaches the front. They've done a really nice job. But the players, the buy-in from the players with those guys, with those coaches on the defensive side, that's really where it starts this year.
What about Tyler Santucci? Because we obviously know him in the league, coming over from Duke as the defensive coordinator there under Mike Elko, and he's a young, up-and-coming coach. What did you like about him that you wanted him in Atlanta?
Yeah, he's a young coach in age, but he's an old soul. He really is. Yeah. And Tooch is when you look back at last season and you look at the teams that had success over the 6, 7, 8 defensive statistical categories and that were in the top 20 of every different category, the ones that were important to me as the head coach. You start looking at teams that show up in all of them, and you start looking at ones that are possible outliers that a little bit against the norm, against the grain. Then all of a sudden those numbers start going from top 20, top 25 down to 3, 4, 5 schools, and they were consistent across the board. And so that's where I had a relationship with Jess already, and built a relationship with Tyler, and everything ended up working out for the best.
All right, I want to switch gears real quick because I thought of you.
Oh boy.
No, I did.
Oh boy.
Because
could go any direction, Coach.
And I set it up by saying that because a year ago we found out that we all had something. We and I had something in common about our love for space.
Oh.
Right. And so I'm watching the news the other night, and I didn't see it in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, we got the Northern Lights going on. And I'm thinking, man, I wonder if Coach Key's out there somewhere in the ATL looking up in the stars, looking for the little Northern Light Act. Did you get any?
None.
Nothing?
It's Atlanta, too many lights.
Well, you can disappear from the city. You can get out in the middle of nowhere. It's 30 minutes in a certain direction. So you got nothing.
I didn't know that was going on.
You didn't even know?
I didn't.
Oh, I'm totally disappointed.
Well, I looked out, it was a few weeks ago, I looked outside and I asked somebody, I said, why is it a weird look outside? And they said, oh, there's an eclipse going on. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, you didn't even know about the eclipse coming?
No, I didn't.
What's happened?
Man.
You must really be dialed in because, I think of it like the space nerds. You and I are under the space nerd category.
Yeah, but I have to research it and look it up. But if it comes across the normal news, I'm not gonna. There's a strong chance I'm not gonna see it. And, maybe a little ticker that goes across the scoreboard or whatever. So.
Hey,
I thought of you. I was like, my man.
thought about it.
My man Key. I know he's down there in Atlanta looking for the Northern Lights. No, sorry, 0.
That would have been cool though. Now I'm going to go back and Google that and look it up and look at the videos.
We got nothing. I've got some buddies in upstate of South Carolina. It was unbelievable.
Really?
Purple, green, yellow. It's unbelievable.
Missed all of it.
It's got Brent Key's name written all over it, man. All that space dust up there.
I missed all of it.
Like Haley's Comet back in
It
1986.
doesn't happen very often unless you're going to Norway, Sweden, or wherever you go.
Sign me up. Speaking of going overseas, we've already talked about the fact that you guys get to start the season early, which I know you probably like because the sooner the better to get out there and hit somebody else against Florida State. What intrigues you about this matchup over there in Ireland and getting to start the season this way?
Well, the big thing is playing the type of opponent we're playing. To be able to start out right out the gate, play the best team in the conference from the last season, who, really good players. Mike's a tremendous coach, great coaches on his staff. But to be able to go there and right out the gate, really get a really good test to see where we're at, see where they're at, go compete, but also do it and give the players a little bit of different experience than the norm. And that's what college football is about. It's about these kids that some of them will be their first time on a plane, and first time on the plane they're jumping and going all the way across the ocean. So. There'll be a couple days there where they'll be able to experience a little bit of the culture in Ireland. But then we're going over there for a reason, and that's to play a football game, to win a football game.
How about the operations and the procedure for that? That can't be easy.
Oh yeah, our ops people and from administration and ops, they've done a tremendous job so far to this point, getting everything ready to go, and several trips over there, just nutrition and just food. All those things that have to go into. You have to take into account when you're doing an away game, but it's over the way.
It's way.
Do you like conference action like that right out of the gate? Or would you, in a perfect world, would you like to kind of ease into it?
You know, I think these games are different. They're outliers. They're not the same as a normal game. I think when you're playing in these, you know, whether it's a week 0 or a kickoff classic or one of those things, you know, last year we came out of the gate and played Louisville, and it's a little different feel for it. Now, you know, I think traditionally you'd like to have some warm up, and you know, but that's not college football. You know, we don't have preseason games. We don't have inter squad or you know, across town people we scrimmage, you know, during training camp. We don't do it. So, you know, I think when you have a chance to be on a stage like this and for everyone to see, you know, who you are as a football team and who you are as a conference and those things that it's, you know, you want to play a really good opponent.
Right into the fire. Realistic expectation before we let you go for Georgia Tech football this season is what, Coach?
What do you mean? You've asked me this last year, I think.
I did?
Yeah, you did. It's
Yeah.
win every game.
Yeah.
Every single game.
That's what I want to hear you say.
What is the expectation? The expectation is to play as good a football as you can possibly play every week.
Love it.
You know, when people ask that the expectation question,
Yeah.
it's such a hypothetical world that you're living in of saying, what's the expectation? Well, you don't ask people how many games they think they're going to lose.
No.
Well, it's the same thing.
I expect you to win every game.
I do too.
Yeah. Hey, and I also expect that when the primetime crew comes to town, you, by the way, undefeated last season when the primetime crew comes to town.
Keep them.
Did you know that?
Keep them coming.
And for the bowl game.
All I know is that all I drink is Powerade.
Is that true?
No.
What, we're
All
Coke,
he drinks is Powerade.
we're Coke school.
Coach, always a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Like talking.
Good to
We'll
see
see you
you.
in a couple months in
Yeah.
Charlotte
Yeah,
for the
for
kickoff. And again, keep up looking to the sky, man. Look that up. Those Northern Lights.
I'm Googling that right
But
away.
if it's an
got it.
eclipse, don't look right at it. That's the
Oh,
only
yeah, it'll burn your eyeballs out.
Yeah, don't do that.
exactly
Don't do that.
right.
Don't take that advice.
That is exactly right.
Appreciate y'all.